What's up, everybody? Welcome to another live session. We have Rajiv Ji with us. Rajiv Ji, anything new happening in our immigration world?
What we were just talking about, the layoffs,
Yeah.
and we were talking about how there has been massive hiring, and some of these layoffs are merely a result of that massive overhiring.
Hmm.
But people are still finding jobs. It's not like people are not finding jobs.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works out. But the biggest matter of concern, remember you had received that email from that lady, that young
Yes.
lady
Yeah. Yeah.
who wanted
Yeah.
to know about the consequences of H1B layoff, etc. So
Right.
I've done a very detailed video on this. It's on my blog also, but let's do it here as well.
Okay.
Uh, it'll only take me 5-10 minutes to lay out the essentials. So let's begin with people who were on OPT and STEM OPT extensions, whose H1B were approved effective October 1st, but they got laid off before October 1st. So they always have the option of getting back onto OPT if they can demonstrate that their H1B was revoked or withdrawn.
Mm.
Okay.
And does it have to be before October 1st?
Well, because if you reach October 1st, you are no longer on F1, you are now on
Right.
H1.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
So
Yep.
then you'll be looking for a job on H1B. Now you have a 60-day grace period.
Mm.
So one of the commonly asked questions was, what if I don't have pay stubs? Well, that's okay. Because if you got laid off, let's say September 15th, and for 15 days you don't have pay stubs until you hit October 1st, that's okay. I think you still have 60-day grace period. I looked at the regulations, that was my interpretation.
Yeah.
But what if you don't? What if you file late? Well, so you might have to go outside USA for visa stamping and come back with an H1B. Okay.
Mm.
Now remember, you can go to any country for visa stamping. You don't have to go to India. So if you are in USA, you could go to Canada, Mexico, Costa
Yeah.
Rica, Bahamas, Jamaica, many of the neighboring countries. And State Department has said that they are encouraging people to go anywhere they can find a spot. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you were able to reinstate, then you can try again H1B the next year.
Right.
USCIS has maintained the position that if your H1B is revoked before October 1st, you are back in the lottery
Mm.
madness. But if you go up to October 1st and then after October 1st your H1B is revoked, you'll have the 60-day grace period and you are
Mm.
on H1B. Okay. I had a consultation today with a young lady who wanted to know, what if I want to go back to India? Does that create a problem for me? No, I said, no. If you don't have to be here in the United States to interview with potential employers, you can go back.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you are not able to find a spot in India, look around in the neighboring countries, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Maldives, anywhere you can find a spot to get a visa stamping. You don't have to be in USA and you are not subject to the lottery. Okay, you can be without lottery.
Mm.
I also recommended that she could think about filing a tourist visa.
Mm.
Okay. And the idea is that, and be honest about it, that look, I had an unexpected layoff
Mm.
and I need 6 months. I have enough money to support myself. Please convert me to B2. If
Mm.
you file the B2 within the 60 days grace period, at least you are not out of status.
Mm.
Ultimately, it might get denied,
Mm.
but it'll get denied. You ask for 6 months, it'll get denied 8 months later because they are just so backed up. So
Yeah.
if you want to continue that application, you need to file another extension before the 6 months that you have requested are over.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
So what while this is pending, you receive an H1B offer, they file the H1B. Will you get an H1B within the United States if your 60 days are gone, but B2 is pending? No. Government is going to ask you to go outside, get a visa stamping. No big deal. Okay. So that's the way the B2 works. I
Mm.
suspect that many of these B2s, in fact, most of these B2s will be denied. Sometimes, and I always ask for B1, B2, not just B2.
Mm.
Um, sometimes government takes the position that B2 is a rest and recreation visa.
Mm.
Well, that might be true, but B1 is a visa that is used for many purposes.
Right.
Medical treatment is one of them.
Yeah.
Coming to do internships is another one of them.
Mm.
So I think a mixed use B1, B2 is a good idea. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
One of the questions, another important questions, again, it came up today. So I'm getting my last pay stub on December 1st, but I am getting, um, let me rephrase that. My last working day is December 1st or November 30th, but I'm getting full salary till February, end February.
Mm.
So when does the 60-day period begin? When I stop working or when I stop getting paid? And
Mm.
my answer to that was this. I said, look, there are two ways to interpret any rule. Most rules have, I shouldn't say any rule, but most rules have more than one interpretation possible.
Yeah.
The way I look at this rule, I would say if I have to be in an aggressive posture, I would say your 60 days begins on the date your salary stops getting paid, which is February end.
Mm.
But if I were to be conservative, I would then say December 1st is when your 60 days begins, which is the
Mm.
last day you worked, day after the last day you worked. And I think they are both equally tenable. And I think there is a good possibility we can convince the government to take the second over the first. Because think about it this way, Yudi.
I mean, is it also the question is like, I mean, I don't know her situation, but is she considering severance as the paycheck? Because like a lot of
Hmm.
people get 8 weeks of severance and
And my contention is this. I asked her specifically. I said, during this extra period, are you
mm,
getting a full paycheck? She says, exactly, I'm getting a full paycheck.
mm,
So severance might have a variation in amount, but when you're getting a full paycheck, this would be my argument. It is the law that if I get benched,
mm,
I am not out of status if I'm getting paid my full salary.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What is the difference between that and employment termination? Same idea.
Mm,
So why should I be considered to be out of status?
yeah.
That is internally inconsistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I would argue. And I think at least I might be able to convince a court of law that this is a ridiculous um, explanation or interpretation the government is providing. It is a distinction without a difference or a difference without a distinction. The same
Mm,
idea.
mm,
So that is if you want to be aggressive. In a nutshell, so the idea is you could be on F1 or H1B, look for the 60-day period, file things, premium processing. You can pay for premium processing. Employer doesn't have to if it's being done for your benefit. And don't be afraid of having to go out for visa stamping. So what?
mm. Okay.
Okay, I know. I'll give you this. They can delay you. Anybody can be delayed. The 221G, the dreaded 221G can delay you. There
Mm,
is no remedy for that. But
right.
at the same time, you can also be working while you're outside the United States.
Mm,
Most jobs today, especially in technology, are like that. Even
yeah.
in medicine, telemedicine is all online.
Right.
So that's the whole controversy
And
or
if
problem
right,
set.
and if people got laid off, they are on OPT before October 1st. What's the process for them to go back to OPT? Is that do they have to
Okay.
do anything or?
So what happens is when we file for an H1B change of status from F1 to H1B,
Mm,
the DSOs get that information and they suspend your service.
mm,
So when you provide them proof positive that the H1B has been withdrawn, they will reinstate the service. So I actually talked to SEVIP about this with a student online.
mm.
And I said, this is ridiculous because government is taking 7 months to act on these cases.
Yeah.
If I withdraw today, it will take them 7 months to withdraw. And you want me to, my student will be out of status by that time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And she says, well, there is nothing we can do. I said, that's a ridiculous SOP. I think it should be taken to court. But so far, people have been getting by. I don't know how, but that is definitely the built-in delay is a problem for folks in this situation.
Mm,
So I have also told them. I told Savip, I said I can get a letter from the lawyers showing proof of delivery of their letter of withdrawal,
right. Yeah.
and that should be enough for Savip purposes. And they said no.
No.
I
Mm,
said, I am highly suspicious that this procedure that you have started of suspending service is not a legal procedure because there
yeah.
was no regulation on this.
Right. Right.
Okay. But so far it has not been litigated. Let's see what happens. Most
Okay.
people are out of this log jam for now, but
Mm,
these questions still remain.
okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you for that explanation. I am pretty sure a lot of people are in this boat and they wanted to hear. So let's start our Q and A.
Right?
Do F1 visa interview waiver require biometrics if I've already done B1 B2 visa?
I don't have a clue. But I think that again in the United States, they are USCIS is taking old biometrics for many purposes
Mm,
instead of requiring them again. Is the State Department also doing it? I do not know. I
yeah.
don't have first-hand knowledge. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm on I-485 green card EAD. Just wondering how long can someone be unemployed due to layoff?
Well, the
Lose.
good news is once you are on 485, there is no limit unless the government calls into question, which they cannot really because there is no requirement under the law that you work.
Mm,
But note one thing, Mr. Tiwari, Animesh, just make sure that your I-140 is approved and you reach past the point of 485 pending 180 days. Then you are very safe. You could even start your own company and work for it. I would recommend not to. There are some issues there. But technically, you can do portability of the green card to your own company, your friend's company, your wife's company. So you become quite safe after
mm,
I-140 approval and 485-day pendency. If you get laid off before, just start counting days. The moment you cross 180 days, you are safe.
mm. Okay.
You work or you don't work, doesn't matter.
Nice. Should I even start PERM application and I-140 when green card process is going to take 80 years?
It's not 80 years, that's exaggerated because there are blips. So many people got their green cards in 2, 3, 4 years. But I have a client, the most delayed case I have seen is 23 years.
Mm,
Okay. But why should you start PERM? Because it gives you the ability to continue to work past 6 years of H1B.
right.
But if you are discouraged by the length of time it takes to get a green card, I would say 80 years is exaggerated because in practice it doesn't work out like that. In theory, yes. Think about how many thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people got their green cards in the last 1 year.
Mm, mm,
Okay. So these blips will come, they will go. And I was hoping that we would be able to keep control of the House. If we had, I can guarantee you this year we would have seen immigration reform. But with
media.
the Republicans in the House,
Yeah.
they have a very different viewpoint. So I don't know how far we can get. I have no hope of immigration reform, at least in the last 2 years.
Mm, got it. Okay. OPD H1B to B2 to OPD H1B. What are the repercussions and will the interview officer allow since the intention of B2 is to leave US after the 6 months?
I don't understand the slashes. So I think what they're asking me is if I'm on OPT or H1B and convert to B2,
Right.
and then I want to convert back. Well, you can't convert back to OPT, but converting back to H1B, would the officer allow it? Probably not, but you get that 6 month period in which you can keep interviewing. And when the H1B is processed, you go outside, get a visa stamp, and come back.
Mm, mm. Green card in F4 file for my mom about 15 years back. PD is June 2007. How much more time?
Yeah, I don't know. Just Google visa bulletin and look at the December visa bulletin. Every month the numbers change, so keep track of that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm planning to go home to India. I have my EAD card. Would there be any problem at immigration when I come back?
I don't know what status you are in. EAD card comes with political asylum. It comes with, um, I think, what is that called? Withholding of deportation or removal. It comes with OPT. It comes with 485. What is your EAD based upon?
My guess is going to be OPT, but let's wait for him to answer
Either
that.
OPT or 485. I think that would be my
Yeah,
guess. Or
yeah.
it could be H4 EAD. I don't know what kind of EAD they have.
Oh, actually, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Can I change job roles on H1B going from software engineering to data analyst?
Why not? As long as you qualify for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the perspective is or the context is like, does it have to relate to the education they have done?
Now, I'll give you an example. Okay.
Yeah.
It depends upon the type of job. So, what is a data analyst? One who analyzes data.
Mm,
What do they do after the analysis? Do they create a data pipeline? Is the pipeline automated? Is this something you are doing programming for? Are you coding it? That's a software developer job.
yeah.
So, if you are doing the data analysis and presenting a report, are you a statistician? Is your job more like a statistics job? So there are so many different components in this. It depends upon the job. You ask me a theoretical question, can we change jobs? As long as that job requires your degree,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I'm about to graduate on May 2023. Could you please give a gist of what we have to plan for those who graduate May 2023?
Make sure you get your OPT. When you have your first year OPT, you can even volunteer without getting paid, and you only have to work 20 hours each week. You can even do private consulting as long as you keep track of your hours and somebody can provide, um, your clients can provide confirmation that you worked at least 20 hours each week, whether you worked without pay or with pay. That's not relevant. Keep looking for jobs. I think there are going to be jobs for people.
Mm,
I still don't see why not. I know that there is a lot of attrition in the technology industry and there's some very qualified people out there looking for jobs. But I think within a few months, we'll see them all absorbed. So, other than that, you are just like anybody else. You're looking for an H1B, looking to play the lottery.
yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. It's a good answer. Any issues if we had if we had last name correct in OPT EAD and incorrect in I-797?
I guess the I-797 for H1B, get that corrected. It's not the end of the world, but it should be taken care of.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a student with F1 visa. I got my EAD with F1 OPT. I'm traveling home in December. Would there be any problem at immigration when I come back? I guess he was on F1 and OPT EAD.
Yeah, you need to go to immigration.com, which is our website. On the top, there is my blog. About the 13th or 14th entry is travel on F1 OPT or while H1B is pending. Read that. All your questions will be answered.
Yeah. I am transferred from Seattle to Dallas with the same company and profile. I have 485 pending for more than 180 days in both EB2 and EB3. What changes I need to make after I move? Like
You
I
are looking very pretty, sir. You have nothing to worry about. If you feel like it, it's not required. File a supplement J to reflect the change in the job. You can file supplement J with the same employer for a different position or a different location. No problem. I prefer to file supplement Js, and remember that there's no limit to how many supplement Js you can file. Each time you change jobs, you can file a new supplement J.
mm, is it still worth coming to United States for education and earning with immigrant grants and hassles? Or should I choose Canada? My prime aim is to earn and return back after a few years. I
That's
mean,
something you can answer better than I can, Yudi.
I always recommend United States, and especially if if your choice is just to earn some money and get back, you're gonna make more money in United States than Canada. Um, All right. Is EB1 expected to be current for India for next 2 3 years, given the notice in the December visa bulletin?
Uh, I don't know what notice you are referring to. I haven't really looked at it. Somebody was mentioning something. But EB1 is a category which, even if it slips back, it comes right back up. So I haven't looked at the, I'm sorry, I didn't take a look at the December notice. I know that some of the dates are slipping back.
Yeah. Yeah. How how to get green card? I guess the follow up is from F1
Listen, I
visa.
can probably do 3 or 4 book chapters on that. No, more than that, maybe about 11, 12 book chapters.
Have you thought of writing a book?
I don't have time, brother. Where is the time?
I mean, you can just hire a ghostwriter and uh,
Yeah, but there's enough information. If you know where to look, government has put out a lot of information, good information.
yeah, yeah. Do you enjoy writing?
I write for Economic Times.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I'm supposed to have a series of articles, about 8 or 9 articles, but I just can't. Probably during the winter holidays, I'll take care of all that.
Mm. Mm. Okay. For some reason, not receiving the questions yet. So
Yeah, maybe people are done. There are only that many questions, right? So
that
my
could be.
question, Yudi, how is your intermittent fasting going?
It's going well. So far, I don't remember what was the last number, but it's 19 pounds. So
Nice.
good, going well. I cheated a little bit when it was my birthday.
Happy
And then
birthday, Yudi.
yeah, and then couple days after cheat, it's always like when you cheat, then you are like, oh, tomorrow, and then tomorrow. So 3 4 days, like I went off track, but I'm finally back, and it feels great. It feels
What are you doing? 18/6?
yeah, yeah. So
That's a very good way to go, actually.
yeah, 11 to 5 is usually my eating window.
Excellent.
Yeah.
One thing you might notice is um, your LDL numbers might go up a little bit.
What is LDL?
The cholesterol.
Oh, really?
That's a common side effect of
Intermittent fasting?
intermittent
Ah,
fasting. Yeah,
okay.
but I don't know. I think with 18/6, it shouldn't be that much.
Hmm.
But after 6 months or so, you might want to run the numbers.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. All right, we got a few more questions. I'm looking to transfer my approved counselor processing H1B. Approved counselor. Thank you for previous help. Employer B asked for the form 129 from employer A.
That's not normal. No employer is obliged to give out a form I-129. No, sir. That's a rookie request.
Okay. If if dates were already reached 1st January 2015, why dates are going back to October 2011?
Because they are resetting the dates and they will again normalize it. So it's kind of, think about it as rebooting your computer, and then you start slowly opening the windows that you already had open.
Yeah.
Unless you have a Mac, when everything comes up, you know. If you're on a Windows computer and you reboot, then you have to open everything to come back to the system. So it's a system reset.
Right. Right. That's why I always go for Mac.
Well, I have a Mac, and there are
I
more
bet.
computers in my house than people.
I'm currently on F1 visa and I changed my university. So any problem if I go, I mean, go and come back, I mean, go to India and come back.
Or check with your DSO. There are certain formalities you have to comply with, including getting your I-20 stamp for international travel. Check with them if there's anything that you need to worry about. But normally, no, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. If my OPD start date is April 1 and I have a job offer, then can I come to USA in February?
Uh, that question is very confusing.
Yeah. Um,
I don't understand that question. Are you in India right now?
that
OPT
doesn't
start
make
date?
sense.
That doesn't make sense. Ujjwal, think about this a little bit, then do it again, please. We are
Yeah.
confused about this question.
Maybe he's graduating in December
But then,
and
can I come back to USA? What does that mean?
like he's going.
So I for if you are looking to travel while OPT etc. is going on, do go to my blog immigration.com. On the top gray bar, Rajiv's blogs. Click on that, and about 13th or 14th entry is about travel. We have a nice little map info map that shows you what happens when you travel at certain stages.
Yeah, he said, yeah, I'm in India graduating in December.
So he's coming back, graduating in December. So you're coming back for graduate. I'm lost.
Yeah, I'm lost too.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe try rephrasing, Ujwal.
Yeah. Give us
I
a
w-
little bit more information.
yeah, I want my mom to attend my graduation on May 2023.
Ooh,
I don't see any dates for tourist visa.
this is a tough one, Sangeeta. This is a tough one, man. Because see, what happens is when you apply for a tourist visa from a third country, normally they'll say go back to your home country and apply, because tourist visa and student visa are difficult to do in third countries. The reason is consulate in the third country goes, okay, you've come to Malaysia, but how do we assess what is your intention to remain in the US or remain in India? The consulate in India can better judge what your intentions are. So this is a really very difficult situation.
Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I think in general she's just asking there are no visa dates available.
Yeah, and
So,
the answer is you can't even go to a third country. So it's a tough
oh,
situation.
you already went ahead
Yeah, I
before.
actually am. I'm thinking couple of
Yeah.
things ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like if I know my brother was also trying to get tourist visa dates, and the dates available is August 2025.
Yeah.
So if he books that date, is it like really does he just have to like refresh it every single 30 days,
No,
50
I
days
think I don't know what the logistics are, but people are booking their dates.
for
Um,
2 3 years from now?
well, it will get better. I don't know how quickly,
That's
but they are
crazy.
hiring more people.
And the other thing is that the appointment period is only available for no, it's for 1 year, the validation. So you can book
Yeah,
your appointment since, well, okay, never mind. Cool. I'm graduating this December, have already received my EAD, and I'm going to start working from February for a Mang company, which is
what's the man?
Meta, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google.
I can't keep track of all this.
how would you, how likely would the current layoff affect my situation?
So, look, I practice immigration law. I cannot comment about the business aspects of things.
Yeah.
I don't know how it would work out, but as far as immigration law is concerned, we don't see any indications of a problem just because there are layoffs in the market.
Yeah. And we talked briefly about layoffs in the beginning, Anshul. So if you want to watch that, you can watch it. But I mean, it's hard to predict what will happen. But
Yeah, but if we are able to, if I see patterns emerging, I can always get Yudi on the line real quickly and update you guys.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Yudi is actually hard to get hold of. He has been bitten by the gold bug. He wants the only thing he sees is
No.
money. Money. Give me.
uh, all right. I am graduating my master's in 2023 May. This point, I can take OPD in my last semester. My question is, layoffs still continue after May 2023. Could we expect it jobs after May 2020?
IT jobs after. Well, he's graduating in
I mean, I guess I don't know if it's he or she, but yeah, they are
I mean,
graduating in May 2023, and they're just basically wondering what's the job market going to look like in May 2023. Uh,
I don't know if we'll know by May, but I think we might, um, because the typically the labor market has a. Again, I'm not a business specialist or economic specialist. From
But I
immigration
feel like
perspective,
it has to also do with politics. Like, don't you think?
no,
Because
not really, not at this point, because politics is settled now for the at least next 2 years.
well,
Politics
yeah,
is
but 2024, there's gonna be election, and I'm like they are going to go that route, that employment is, the opposition is going to go that route, like employment is bad and inflation and all that. So
Well, inflation is going down, right? It's coming down. Um, I this is what the law tells us, that every 6 months, that this is supposed every 6 months, the pool of labor is revised in the United States. So typically, labor cycles are 6 monthly cycles, according to people who codify laws. Now, I don't know how far they are right, if there's a magic in 6 months. So if we start November, then by May we should know where we stand, right?
yeah.
So hopefully there'll be enough agitation in the employment area that we will know when it starts settling out.
Okay. My wife did her master's and went back to India without using her OPT. Is there any way for her to use her OPT now without enrolling in a new program?
No.
Yeah. And yeah, I was thinking like maybe the wife went just now, like if she graduate, because you still, I
You
know
have, to,
never.
you have a deadline to file.
Yeah, that's that's you always think like 5 steps ahead. By the time I get there, you already answered that
But this is
question.
what I do for a living, right? So this is that's different. I'm moving to Dallas. My H1B amendment will be done from Dallas. Is there any way, after amendment is done, can I still work in Seattle for sometimes? Yes, because typically what happens is when you do an amendment, that does not overrule your current H1B. Typically, it just adds on another option. I have to really look at the law, but that's my impression. So let your lawyers tell you. But my impression is, just because I got approved in Seattle or in Dallas, there's no reason I can't continue working in Seattle for some time, because that's already approved. The second approval doesn't overrule the first approval.
Yeah, and the last one said she graduated in 2020. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a while back.
yeah. All right, got an offer from University of
Scranton,
Scranton.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
That's I think that's is that Joe
Pennsylvania.
Biden's town? Yeah, I think so.
For
For
MSPA course, which is Masters in Business Analytics. Will I secure a good job in US? There isn't a yes, you will. Answer is yes, as long as you work hard. There's a lot of jobs for business analytics. I mean, analytics is big field. So, um, cool. Looks like that's it. Maybe I missed a couple of questions. Doesn't look like it, but I still haven't filed my passport renewal. I'm a little scared now, but
why?
I have
Why?
5 months. Why I haven't filed it? Just because I'm lazy, but
What are you scared about?
I think I'm procrastinating the document gathering part of it. Yeah, are they gonna
Mm,
ask anything other than what? Like, I'm guessing the only thing I'm scared of, like, I don't have my Aadhaar card here, so that is
Hey, which passport are you extending? Your Indian passport?
yeah, yeah. I don't
Oh,
have
okay.
citizenship yet,
Okay. Yeah, I
which
forgot
I need
about
to
that.
talk to you for my citizenship, but we'll
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, of course.
You guys do that, right?
You don't need a lawyer for that.
No?
There are plenty of people who hire us for naturalizations. I always tell them, why do you need a lawyer? Because they want to have the peace of mind,
Peace.
and that's
Yeah,
understandable.
yeah,
So I'll take a look at your application, prepare it. It's not that complicated.
yeah. All right.
The-
I've heard about H1B Zeroth attempt. I'm not sure how it works. Can you give the cliff notes on it?
I don't know what zeroth attempt means. I've never heard of
Meaning they getting an H1B before they graduate.
that. Okay, so can you get an H1B before you graduate? Yes. What if I have a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from India and I'm now doing master's degree in data analytics? I'm a fully qualified professional because I have a bachelor's degree already. So if I got a job in control systems um, or something that involves electrical engineering, I can get my H1B while I'm still on my master's degree course. Okay. So I think that's what this refers to. I
Yeah,
have never
yeah,
heard of. You guys
yeah.
make up things that I don't have any idea.
They just have made up that term, but basically somebody got an internship during their summer internship and they extended the full-time job. The company doesn't want to wait before they start, and they are like, hey, we will do your H1B next year before even he gets the full-time. So that's just the gist of it.
Yeah, keep me confused, guys. Thanks a lot.
Uh, oh, nice. Jaidev is saying it is done in San Francisco, and I don't need Aadhaar card. That's awesome. Cool.
Oh, there you go.
I was a little worried about that. Cool. There's more. Indian passport renewal is pretty straightforward process. Might be slow. You will get it in a month. Okay, cool. Trump on 2024 views on immigration.
Trump doesn't know
Controversial.
what Trump is going to do. So that's all I can tell you.
But he is going to participate, right?
He already
Oh,
announced yesterday or day before yesterday. He announced he's running.
yeah. Okay. It's gonna be interesting.
We'll see.
Yeah. Is it true that employers cannot file PERM application if they recently conducted layoffs? How does how long does the restriction last for? How would this affect green card process through H1B? That's a good
Okay,
question.
so it's not that you cannot file. It's just that you have to consider people who are qualified amongst those that you laid off. So let's say, since we are talking about business analysts, let's say I laid off 6 business analysts and 25 database administrators. Okay.
Mhm.
Can I file an application as a network architect? Yes. Why? Because these jobs that I laid off had nothing to do with network architecture. Okay. But if there were 3 resumes there that could qualify for network architecture, I have to send them an invitation that come interview with us for this job.
Mm.
That's all. It's not a big deal. How long? I think it's 6 months. That in the past, within I don't remember the exact. I think it's 6 months. Remember, I told you that the labor pool is supposed to renew every 6 months. So I think the assumption would be 6 months, but double check that. I don't remember when. But we do this all the time. All we have to do is consider for the job those people who were laid off and could potentially qualify for the job.
Mm.
So I gave you an example of 2 jobs, but the third job has no relationship with the other two. That can be filed. Because if you look at the question on ETA 9089, the PERM form, it says, have you laid off any worker in same or similar jobs in the last X months? So not a big deal.
Yeah. Some interesting questions. I got traffic fine. Do I need to disclose that in DS 160?
If there's a question asked, absolutely. If there's a question not asked, you don't have to, but don't try to hide it. It's not a big deal.
I am currently on H1B visa with company A, filing for H1B transfer to company B. If I change my mind after transfer is approved, can I keep working with company A?
Absolutely. I just dealt with that Dallas Seattle example. Just because the second H1B is approved doesn't mean the first one is revoked. The only thing is make sure you have not signed any contract paperwork with the second company. Um, that's something you need to talk to a contract lawyer with.
Okay. So okay, so that's interesting. So you can have two parallel H1B
Okay.
going
Yep.
on?
Yep. So the way it works is, let's say there are 3 employers, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm working with X on H1B. My H1B is good for another 2 years. Employer Y gets my H1B approval, and while that is still pending, employer Z files my H1B application.
Mhm.
Even if Y or Z are approved or pending, I can still continue working with X. Just because Y is approved does not take away the validity of X.
Interesting. That is cool. Okay. Regarding zero attempt question, a friend already has a job offer. He's graduating in May 2023 and his company is already applying for H1B. And
Ah,
this apparently counts. as an
Yeah,
extra attempt.
it's the same example as mine because he's already qualified because
Yeah.
he has a right bachelor's degree for the job. So even though he is in master's or she is in master's, she qualifies. So they can keep applying each year they are in college. They don't have to have graduated.
Right. The only difference is they don't get that extra special master's quota.
Yeah, because they haven't finished their master's yet.
Right. Okay. Um, I'm having my H1B visa appointment next week. Is it best time to go to India? I mean, you have
I,
appointment. Why would you not?
yeah, I can't think of anything.
I-
It's not an extraordinary time. It's just like any other time.
it's actually cooler compared to
Well,
summer.
some people are running into difficulties. I have one client who's got stuck there, but these are example cases that are only cited more as an exception than the rule. So I would just say that just like any other time, same degree of risk.
Mm, okay. All right. Should I apply for masters in 2023 fall considering the reset? Yes, you should.
I like the way you decide that. He is the astrologer. I am the lawyer.
I I mean they're coming 2023. That's and then they will finish their masters in 2 years, 2025. That's like three. Like how are they gonna decide whether recession is still gonna be there or not? And yeah. Anyway, I'm at a point where I can get my undergrad OPT after this fall semester, and I'm also getting a GA position for my master's program,
What's a GA?
graduate assistant.
Ah,
Um, I am confused, good, confused.
so Hiba, I just thought of something. The way this works is so you've got an undergraduate degree, right? Which you are getting after that you get your OPT. So why don't you take your OPT and even if you volunteer, even if you spend 20 hours each week helping a professor and the rest of the time building your skills, uh, you would have received your OPT. When you get to go to the next higher level, you get OPT again. You get 1 year OPT again. And if you are STEM, you get 2 years again. Actually, the same can happen at undergraduate level also. Again, let's take an example of electrical engineering. If I'm doing bachelor's in electrical engineering, I get OPT 1 plus 2 years, 2 years STEM extension. Then when I join master's, I again get 1 plus 2 years.
yeah,
Okay.
I
So that's something to consider.
yeah, yeah. I was a little confused where you were going, but then I was like, oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I make sense. Many times I don't make sense to myself.
Does traffic fine comes under
No,
conviction of an offense?
no. Only if you are caught in something that's a crime. For example, reckless driving. Okay. Um, in Virginia, I think there are some speed limits. I'm just taking arbitrary numbers. Let's say that in a 55-mile zone, you're driving um, 64. You may get speeding. But if you hit 65, which is 10 miles over, you might get reckless driving. And that could be a misdemeanor. That could be a crime. So, in the same way, if you are driving insanely, zigzagging into traffic, and that's a moving
Mm,
violation, but if it's serious enough, it could become a criminal offense.
yeah.
But normal speeding is not criminal.
Thank you, Hasina.
Yeah.
Hasina.
Hasana, I think.
Yeah, but
Sorry,
thank
guys,
you.
I can't see without my glasses. And
So many people have messaged me as well, like they miss seeing us together. We have some form of chemistry. That's what they
of
say.
course, we do chemistry and physics and biology, everything.
Uh,
Only thing we don't have is economics.
yeah. But we find all these rich people, and they make us. They are our best friends. So
Exactly. I'm hoping to capitalize on the friendships.
yes, our minor traffic violation an issue. We just talked about it,
Hmm,
so should be
no
okay.
issue.
And is
Minor,
it?
see, look, I'll give you an example. When I went for my green card, my license had been canceled because of too many speeding tickets. Okay. Uh, No, 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 not my license. Sorry, my insurance. I had to get a new insurance because I had like 7 speeding tickets in 1 year. But there was no problem with the green card. Of course, it can become a moral. The officer did ask me, because if you are driving so haphazardly, are you a good moral character person? So I explained to her. I said, look, I was a litigator at that time, and I'm always running late for courts, because no matter
Mm.
what we do, this damn 14th Street Bridge in DC, you could plan for 15 minutes to cross it, and you could be stuck there for 2 hours. And
Right.
I often had to call the court and say, Your Honor, I'm stuck on 14th Street Bridge. Everybody knows that. Okay. So she started laughing. She says, okay, well, So the idea is that if there are no other indications of you being a bad person, I don't think speeding tickets are going to be a major issue for you.
What
That
about,
doesn't mean you keep getting them, but
yeah,
because your insurance rates will shoot up.
there's a follow-up question. Is it recommended to maintain the same address while waiting on green card approval?
Yeah. But the thing is, if you are going to move, make sure you file AR11 as early as possible. I would even open a service request and call them and say, you have my new address. And that should cover it. Because even when you file the AR11, it asks you, do you have any applications pending with the USCIS right now? And you say yes, and you give all the particulars. So they automatically update everything. But just to be sure, you open a service request also.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we change the university right after landing in USA?
I don't know of any reason why not. Um,
Right.
uh, they want you to comment on that. But legally speaking, I don't see why not. Again, check with the DSO of the school where you are transferring. I don't think it's a. Can you
Yeah.
do it right after you land? I have to look at go to dhs.studyinthestates.gov.
You can because
I think you can.
I know my junior, they joined Chico State and they went one day and then they transferred to San Jose State. So I know
Yeah, I
different.
don't know. This is something practical. I don't really know. I haven't dealt with that. Never had to.
Yeah, immigration wise, like I mean I don't think there should be any problem, but it's up to your university.
Yeah, just remember that website, guys. Studyinthestates.gov.
Mm.
Studyinthestates.gov. Good website.
Um, cool. I've got second RFE on my H1B application. My attorney have told me to better to withdraw. In my first RFE USCIS, I mentioned I need to file LCA again because I'm not staying in the
That's
commuting distance.
too broad a question to be answered, Hemantji. I don't know what to tell you. It's Hemant, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Hemantji. So I don't know what to tell you, but I hope that your lawyers know what they are doing. And if my question would be that was there a mistake made, or um, I don't know, because are you in status? Are you out of status? Will you have to go for visa stamping? These are some of the issues you need to discuss with them.
Yeah.
Second
Also,
RFEs are rare, but not unheard of. They come.
yeah. I think we kind of touched on this. I got my H1B as a civil engineer. Now I want to go to software
Okay.
side. If I get a job in software and employer is willing to sponsor, will it create
Yeah.
any problem?
Yeah, I have a couple of companies that are specializing in what are those called? Building information systems. What is BMI? Building something, something like that. And there they hire architects, civil engineers, and software engineers, because it depends upon the kind of work that is being done. So if you there are two ways to go for software engineering job as a civil engineer. If you have 3 years of experience in developing software, you can get an evaluation done, and 3 years of experience with a degree will give you bachelor's degree in information systems or management information systems, and that qualifies you for a software job. So that's something you have to get together with your lawyers to assess.
Yeah. All right, we'll take last two questions and then wrap up. Number one is I'm on a fund visa. Can I buy property like an apartment or a condominium legally?
I don't think so. Again, I'm saying this from a very strict perspective, that I think any kind of investment where you're actively involved, we've talked about this many times before, negotiations or hiring a manager and managing the building. I think that is a violation of your status. But
Are
if it is,
you assuming that they are going to put the
yeah,
apartment on rent and all that
well,
versus
they
just
have to. Otherwise, why are they buying a building? They don't want the whole building to live for themselves, right?
well, they could just buy a condo, like an apartment, a two-bedroom
Buy a
apartment.
property like an apartment. Sorry, thank you. I thought it was a whole building. Why can't you buy a condominium? Yeah, sure you can.
Yeah.
That's for your own use.
I mean, loan might be a problem, but unless you are like paying
Yeah,
all in cash.
unless you are one of our best friends, then
Yeah.
we
Right.
already love you a lot.
Yeah. All right. Last question. I'm on H1B. I have a business plan under Amazon FBA program and a partner who wants to start an LLC with me to run that business.
What is Amazon FBA?
Shipping program, I think. I don't know.
Do they have some kind of a? Does Amazon have some kind of a incubator? Is this what it is?
No, it's MSAFBA is just
Can you
basically
Google?
selling.
Can you
It's a
Google what is Amazon FBA?
yeah. Sharing my screen tab. There we go. There-
Amazon FBA program.
Here,
Uh, Let Amazon pick, pack, ship your order. Okay, I see. They become the freight forwarders kind of thing for you.
right.
Set up an FBA, create product listing, prepare products, ship products to Amazon.
So Amazon will do all of that. They probably are selling.
So you
The
can't come to the United States on that basis.
no,
If
he's on H1B, so he's wondering
business plan and a
if
partner who wants to start an LLC to run that business. Oh, okay. So basically, you want to own that business, right? So if you want to own that business, you can't have a business on an H1B. But I'll give you an example. Let's say you had an MBA, okay, and the MBA was in international marketing, and the company, your own company, hired you for a job that requires an MBA in international marketing. You could actually do an H1B for a company in which you are a stockholder, okay. But if you just want to, you have a degree in architecture and you want to run a handicrafts company, you won't qualify for an H1B, and there's no way you can do it from within US. Now, if you are putting in $1 million plus and you wanted to go through an investment kind of a deal or $800,000 for a targeted employment area, rural area, etc., you could do an investment visa. But I don't think you're thinking of that kind of money investment.
I mean, yeah, he essentially he wants to own the business and run the business, and is asking for workaround.
See, owning is not the problem, running is.
Mm,
You can't
yeah,
be actively involved. You can
right.
own the business,
You
but
can
you should
invest
not
in
be
it.
actively
Yeah,
involved.
yeah. Cool. All right. I think that's it for today. Thank you, Rajiv ji. We will be back in 2 weeks if Rajiv
Sounds
ji is
good.
not busy.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, will be around.
Yeah.
Best of luck,
Cool.
guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep your jobs, please.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye, Yudi.
Bye.